What makes a psychopath? Have you ever wondered what separates a psychopath from the average person? Is it their cold demeanor, their ability to charm their way through life, or something more hidden beneath the surface? Psychopathy is one of the most intriguing and misunderstood personality disorders, often portrayed in movies as manipulative masterminds or chilling criminals. But is that the full picture? This video is for anyone curious about understanding the mind of a psychopath, whether you're a psychology enthusiast, someone studying behavioral science, or just someone who wants to better navigate relationships with potentially toxic individuals. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of the 13 traits that define a psychopath, how to recognize them in real life, and why these traits make them so dangerous. This isn't just another theory-based video. We're diving into real-world examples, practical observations, and actionable insights to help you identify these traits in your interactions and stay informed. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video and share it with anyone who could benefit from understanding psychopathy better. It's your support that motivates us to create more valuable content like this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Superficial charm. Have you ever met someone who seemed too good to be true, charismatic, confident, and irresistibly likable? That's the hallmark of superficial charm, one of the most common traits of a psychopath. They can effortlessly draw people in, making others feel special and valued. But beneath the surface, it's all a calculated performance. Psychopaths use their charm as a tool to manipulate and gain control over others. Imagine meeting someone who can light up a room with their presence, tell the perfect joke, or make you feel like the most important person in the world. It's captivating, but it's also dangerous. Their charm is a mask, hiding their true intentions and making it nearly impossible to see through their facade. For example, Ted Bundy, one of the most infamous serial killers, was known for his charm and good looks. People trusted him because he presented himself as intelligent, friendly, and helpful. He used this charm to lure victims, showing just how powerful and dangerous this trait can be when used unethically. How to recognize superficial charm in real life. Inconsistent stories. They may over-exaggerate their accomplishments or tell stories that sound too polished. Dig deeper, and you'll often find cracks in their tales. Too much flattery. They might shower you with compliments, but it feels overly rehearsed or insincere. Rapid bonding. Psychopaths often try to build trust quickly, making you feel like you've known them forever. How to protect yourself. Trust. Actions, not words. Pay close attention to their behavior over time. Actions reveal more than charm. Ask questions. Subtle probing questions can help you see if their stories hold up. Keep boundaries. Firm. Don't let their charisma make you drop your guard too soon. Superficial charm might seem harmless at first, but it's the foundation of how psychopaths manipulate their victims. Recognizing it is the first step to staying one step ahead. Grandiose sense of self-worth. Ever met someone who believes they're better than everyone else, no matter the evidence to the contrary? This is what psychologists refer to as a grandiose sense of self-worth, and it's a key trait of psychopathy. Psychopaths often carry an inflated view of themselves, believing they are superior, untouchable, or destined for greatness. This trait isn't just about being confident. It's an exaggerated sense of importance that can make them dismissive of others, reckless, or even delusional. They genuinely believe they are smarter, more capable, and more deserving than those around them. Real-life examples. Think of corporate fraudsters who embezzle millions, convinced they won't get caught because they see themselves as smarter than the system. Or manipulative partners who always play the victim, making you feel like everything revolves around them. These individuals feel entitled to break rules and expect admiration without earning it. Common signs of a grandiose sense of self-worth, overconfidence. They'll often take credit for successes they didn't earn, claiming to have skills or achievements far beyond their actual abilities. Dismissiveness. They might belittle others, dismissing opinions or input as inferior or irrelevant. Rule breaking. Mentality. They believe rules are for ordinary people, not for someone as special as them. Practical strategies to deal with this trait: avoid feeding their ego. Don't get drawn into their exaggerated narratives. Stay grounded and focus on facts. Set clear boundaries. If they try to dominate a conversation or situation, assert yourself firmly but respectfully. Don't be intimidated. Remember, their confidence is often a smokescreen for deeper insecurities or manipulation tactics. A grandiose sense of self-worth makes psychopaths feel untouchable. But understanding this trait can help you avoid falling into their trap. Pathological lying. Have you ever caught someone lying so convincingly that you almost doubted your own perception of the truth? This is the art of pathological lying, a defining trait of psychopathy. Psychopaths lie effortlessly and frequently, not just to cover their tracks, but because deception is second nature to them. Unlike the occasional lie told by most people, psychopaths weave intricate webs of falsehoods to manipulate, control, and maintain an advantage. What's even more unnerving is how convincing they are. They rarely show guilt or hesitation, making it nearly impossible to detect their lies. Why they lie? For psychopaths, lying isn't just a tool, it's a way of life. They lie to manipulate situations, twist events to suit their narrative or shift blame, control others, gain power or loyalty by distorting the truth, maintain their facade, protect their superficial charm or grandiose self-image. Examples of pathological lying: inventing accomplishments. They might claim degrees, job titles, or experiences they've never had. Creating false narratives, telling elaborate stories to gain sympathy or admiration. Twisting facts, using partial truths to make their lies more believable. How to spot a pathological liar. Inconsistent details. If you dig deeper, their stories often fall apart or contradict earlier claims. Overly detailed narratives. Their lies might feel rehearsed, with unnecessary details meant to sound convincing. Defensiveness. When questioned, they deflect or become aggressive rather than clarifying. Steps to protect yourself. Verify their claims. Fact-check their stories and credentials when something feels off. Trust your gut. If their narrative feels too perfect or exaggerated, it probably is. Don't engage in power struggles. Stay neutral and avoid directly confronting their lies unless necessary. Pathological lying allows psychopaths to build illusions and manipulate their way through life, but understanding their tactics can help you see through the deception. Manipulative behavior. Have you ever felt like someone was subtly steering you into decisions or actions that benefited them more than you? That's the hallmark of manipulative behavior, a core trait of psychopathy. Psychopaths are master manipulators, skilled at influencing others for their own gain, often at great cost to their victims. Unlike overt coercion, their manipulation is often subtle and calculated. They know how to exploit emotions, vulnerabilities, and trust, making it seem as though the manipulated actions were your own idea all along. How they manipulate. Emotional exploitation. They play on your fears, guilt, or insecurities to control your actions, feigning innocence or victimhood. They might act hurt or misunderstood to gain sympathy and avoid accountability. Gaslighting, making you doubt your own memory, perception, or sanity to keep you off balance and dependent. Examples of manipulative behavior. In relationships, they may isolate their partner from friends and family, subtly making them feel they need the psychopath to thrive. In workplaces, psychopaths often manipulate colleagues into taking blame for mistakes while taking credit for group successes. With strangers, they may feign kindness or generosity to build trust quickly, only to exploit it later. How to recognize manipulation. Unequal relationships. If the dynamic always seems to favor them, you might be dealing with manipulation. Inconsistent stories. Their words don't align with their actions or earlier statements. Feeling drained. You often feel emotionally or mentally exhausted after interacting with them. Practical strategies to counter manipulation. Set boundaries. Be firm about what you will and won't tolerate in your interactions. Stay emotionally detached. Don't let them use your emotions against you. Focus on facts and logic. Seek outside perspectives. Talk to trusted friends or colleagues for clarity if you feel manipulated. Manipulative behavior is one of the most damaging traits of a psychopath, as it erodes trust and leaves victims questioning their own reality. Learning to recognize and resist this trait can save you from falling into their trap. Lack of remorse or guilt. Imagine someone committing harm, whether it's a betrayal, a lie, or a more severe offense, and showing no signs of regret or guilt. They might even justify their actions, making you question whether they understand the damage they've caused. This is a hallmark of a lack of remorse or guilt, a chilling trait of psychopaths. For psychopaths, harmful behavior doesn't trigger the usual emotional response of regret. Instead, they may feel indifferent or even justified in their actions. The ability to harm others without feeling guilty is what often allows them to continue their destructive behaviors without hesitation. Why? They lack remorse. Absence of empathy. Psychopaths don't understand or care about how their actions affect others. Self-justification. They are often skilled at rationalizing their harmful actions, making themselves believe they had no choice, or that they were entitled to act the way they did. Focus on self-interest. Their primary concern is their own needs, desires, and goals, not the well-being of others. Real-life examples. In criminal behavior, serial offenders, such as serial killers or con artists, often show no remorse for their crimes, even when faced with the consequences. In personal relationships, a psychopath in a relationship may cheat, lie, or betray their partner, and show no guilt or understanding of the harm they've caused. In the workplace, they may take credit for others' work or sabotage colleagues without any feelings of remorse, viewing it as a necessary means to their own success. How to spot a lack of remorse or guilt. Blame shifting. They rarely take responsibility for their actions, often blaming others or external circumstances. Inability to apologize. When they do apologize, it often feels shallow, forced, or insincere. Rationalizing. Harmful behavior. They may downplay the consequences of their actions, insisting they were justified or forced into it. Steps to deal with it. Set firm boundaries. Don't tolerate behavior that disrespects your emotional or physical well-being. Trust your feelings. If someone's lack of remorse or guilt feels unsettling, it's a red flag. Trust your instincts. Avoid personalization. Understand that their lack of guilt is about their own deficiencies, not your worth. The absence of remorse is a disturbing trait of psychopathy, as it means that the psychopath is unlikely to learn from their mistakes or feel compelled to change. Recognizing this trait early can help you protect yourself from becoming their next victim. Shallow emotions. Have you ever encountered someone who seems to only display surface-level emotions, like a smile that doesn't reach their eyes or a laugh that doesn't seem genuine? This is a sign of shallow emotions, a common trait of psychopaths. While they might mimic emotions or even appear joyful, their feelings rarely go deep or hold any real substance. For psychopaths, emotions are not something to experience or connect with. They're merely tools to manipulate, control, or deceive others. They might feign happiness, sadness, or anger to fit a particular situation, but lack the depth or authenticity that accompanies true emotional responses. Why psychopaths have shallow emotions. Lack of emotional depth. Psychopaths do not have the capacity to feel emotions deeply, even when situations would naturally elicit such feelings in others. Emotional detachment. They can disconnect from their emotions when it suits them, which allows them to avoid feeling guilt or empathy. Surface-level mimicry. Their emotional expressions are often exaggerated or insincere, meant only to create an impression rather than reflect their true feelings. Examples of shallow emotions. Superficial charm. They might act charming and charismatic, but their affection feels hollow, as if it's just a strategy to win over others. Manipulative tears. They might shed crocodile tears in response to a situation, but the sorrow never seems to reach their heart. It's just part of their manipulation. Inappropriate responses. A psychopath might laugh at a tragedy or show no emotion during a crisis, giving off an unsettling, disconnected vibe. How to identify shallow emotions. Inconsistent reactions. Their emotional responses seem out of place or too extreme for the situation. Lack of emotional range. They don't seem to experience the full spectrum of human emotions, often jumping between extremes or remaining indifferent in emotional situations. Quick recovery. After a brief emotional reaction, they quickly return to a state of calm, as if they've moved on without any lingering effect. How to deal with shallow emotions. Don't buy into the act. Recognize that what they show you isn't real. Their emotional expressions are often calculated, not genuine. Keep your distance. It's difficult to form a true connection with someone who doesn't have deep emotions, so try to distance yourself emotionally. Trust your intuition. If you feel like their emotions are fake or manipulative, trust that gut feeling. Shallow emotions are a red flag in psychopaths because they are often used as a means of control, rather than an authentic expression of their inner world. Recognizing this trait early can help you avoid being manipulated by their false emotional displays. Callousness and lack of empathy. Have you ever encountered someone who seems completely indifferent to the suffering of others, unable to recognize the emotional pain they cause? This chilling trait is callousness and lack of empathy, a central characteristic of psychopaths. They may appear cold, calculating, and emotionally detached, completely unaffected by the distress or hardship of others. Psychopaths can be outwardly charming and smooth, but their ability to understand or care about the emotions of others is virtually non-existent. Their lack of empathy makes it easy for them to exploit and manipulate people, as they do not experience the same moral or emotional considerations that most of us do. Why they lack empathy. Emotional detachment. Psychopaths don't feel the emotional connection to others that would normally prevent us from causing harm. Inability to understand suffering. They don't understand what it's like to be in someone else's shoes and have no desire to do so. Focus on self-interest. Their emotional world is entirely self-centered, and the pain of others is simply irrelevant to them. Examples of callousness and lack of empathy. In relationships, they may manipulate or betray their partner without a second thought, as their emotional bond is shallow or non-existent. In crime, many psychopaths are involved in criminal behavior, as they have no qualms about causing harm for personal gain. In work or social situations, they might use people as stepping stones for their own success, indifferent to the damage they cause along the way. How to recognize callousness and lack of empathy. Inappropriate responses. They may remain unfazed or even laugh when others are distressed or in pain. Self-centered conversations. Their discussions tend to revolve around themselves, showing little interest in other people's feelings or experiences. Disregard for others' needs. They act without considering the impact their actions will have on others, showing no guilt or remorse. How to protect yourself from callousness. Trust your gut. If you sense that someone is emotionally distant or indifferent to your well-being, it's crucial to acknowledge that feeling. Set boundaries. Keep a safe emotional distance from individuals who lack empathy, as they can easily exploit or manipulate you. Be cautious in vulnerable situations. Psychopaths may use your vulnerabilities against you, so be careful in emotionally charged environments. The trait of callousness and lack of empathy makes psychopaths extremely dangerous because they are immune to the usual emotional cues that stop others from exploiting or hurting people. Recognizing this trait early can help you protect yourself from their harmful behavior. Failure to accept responsibility. Have you ever been in a situation where someone could do no wrong in their own eyes, no matter the damage caused? No matter the mistakes, they always seem to find someone else to blame. This is the hallmark of failure to accept responsibility, a common and alarming trait of psychopaths. Psychopaths are notorious for never taking responsibility for their actions, even when it's glaringly obvious that they are at fault. Instead, they deflect blame, manipulate the truth, or completely deny any wrongdoing, making it nearly impossible to hold them accountable. This refusal to accept responsibility is a key feature that allows them to continue their harmful behaviors without facing consequences. Why they fail to accept responsibility. Lack of conscience. Psychopaths don't experience guilt or remorse for their actions, so there's no need to own up to them. Deflection and manipulation. They will go to great lengths to twist the situation and make others feel responsible for what they've done. Ego and narcissism. Psychopaths believe they are superior to others, and as a result, they think they are above reproach. Examples of failure to accept responsibility. Blaming others. A psychopath might cause a problem at work or in a relationship, but instead of owning up to it, they accuse others or play the victim. Denial of facts. Even when confronted with evidence, they'll deny their involvement or argue that they're being misunderstood, making excuses. They might justify their wrong actions with excuses, saying things like, "I had no choice," or "it was the only option." How to recognize a failure to accept responsibility. Constant blame. Shifting. They never seem to admit fault or own up to their role in conflicts, always pointing fingers at others. Victim mentality. They often position themselves as the victim, even when they are the cause of the issue. Refusal to apologize. Psychopaths rarely, if ever, apologize, even when their actions have hurt others. How to deal with someone who fails to accept responsibility. Don't let them manipulate you. Stand firm in the truth, and don't let them twist the situation to make you feel guilty. Avoid engaging in circular arguments. If they continue to deflect, blame, disengage from the conversation, as it will go nowhere productive. Set boundaries. Ensure that you don't accept blame for things you didn't do. Keep your boundaries clear to avoid being manipulated. Psychopaths are experts at avoiding responsibility, which allows them to escape accountability for their actions. By recognizing this trait and standing firm, you can prevent yourself from being dragged into their world of denial and blame shifting. Impulsivity. Have you ever witnessed someone act without thinking, jumping into decisions that seem reckless or out of control? This is a classic example of impulsivity, a defining trait of psychopaths. Their behavior is driven by immediate gratification, without considering long-term consequences, and it often leads to chaos in their lives and the lives of others. Psychopaths lack the ability to pause and evaluate the consequences of their actions. Instead, they act on a whim, driven by desire, thrill, or impulse, often without any foresight. This trait can make them appear unpredictable and dangerous, as they constantly live in the moment, without regard for what might happen afterward. Why they are impulsive. Need for instant gratification. Psychopaths crave immediate rewards and will act quickly to satisfy their desires. Lack of forethought. They don't consider the long-term effects of their actions, leaving them in a constant state of unpredictability, high tolerance for risk. They thrive on danger and excitement, which fuels their impulsive behavior. Examples of impulsivity: financial recklessness. Psychopaths may engage in impulsive spending, making large purchases without any financial plan or consideration of the consequences. Unpredictable decisions. They might make life-altering decisions, such as quitting a job, moving to a new place, or ending relationships, without any forethought or consideration for the fallout. Dangerous activities. They may engage in risky behaviors like substance abuse, reckless driving, or unsafe sexual practices, seeking the thrill or instant gratification that comes with them. How to recognize impulsivity. Frequent sudden decisions. They make quick decisions without a clear plan or consideration for the future. Inability to stick to plans. Psychopaths often start projects or make commitments that they abandon halfway through, as their impulsive nature leads them to chase new, immediate desires. Unpredictable lifestyle. They have a chaotic lifestyle, often jumping from one thing to another without clear direction or goals. How to handle impulsive behavior. Set boundaries. Make it clear when impulsive actions are unacceptable, especially if they put others at risk or cause harm. Encourage reflection. While it may be difficult, try to encourage the individual to think through the consequences of their actions before making decisions. Protect yourself. Recognize the signs of impulsivity and take steps to protect your well-being if you feel their behavior is putting you in danger or causing harm. Impulsivity is a trait that can make psychopaths incredibly dangerous to those around them. Their lack of forethought leads to a life of chaos, and their need for immediate satisfaction makes it almost impossible for them to think ahead or plan responsibly. Being aware of this trait can help you better navigate interactions with them. Need for stimulation. Have you ever met someone who constantly seeks excitement, always looking for the next thrill or adventure? This is a key feature of the need for stimulation, a defining trait of psychopaths. Their insatiable desire for new and exciting experiences often leads them to engage in risky or even dangerous activities. Psychopaths are rarely satisfied with a quiet, predictable life. They are constantly seeking stimulation, whether through thrill-seeking behaviors, high-risk activities, or simply seeking novelty. For them, boredom is unbearable, and they are always driven by the urge to chase excitement, regardless of the consequences. Why they need stimulation. Dopamine addiction. Psychopaths are often driven by a craving for the dopamine rush that comes from excitement, pushing them to constantly seek new experiences. Emotional flatness. Their emotional range is typically limited, and only intense experiences provide the stimulation they need to feel anything at all. Escaping. Boredom. Boredom is something they cannot tolerate, as it leaves them feeling restless and unsettled. Examples of the need for stimulation. Risk-taking behaviors. Psychopaths may engage in reckless driving, dangerous sports, or even criminal activities just to feel alive or to escape boredom. Constant pursuit of novelty. They may constantly change jobs, relationships, or living situations in search of something new and exciting. Substance abuse. Many psychopaths turn to drugs or alcohol as a way to experience heightened sensations or escape the dullness of everyday life. How to recognize the need for stimulation. Chronic restlessness. They seem constantly on the move, never content with the status quo and always in search of the next rush. Risk-taking. Their actions often involve a disregard for their own safety or the safety of others, seeking the thrill of high-stakes situations. Difficulty with routine. Psychopaths may have trouble adhering to routines or commitments, as they quickly lose interest once the novelty wears off. How to protect yourself from the need for stimulation. Stay aware of risky behavior. If you find yourself around someone whose need for stimulation leads to dangerous decisions, it's important to stay vigilant and protect yourself from potential harm. Avoid being drawn in. Psychopaths often try to drag others into their whirlwind of excitement. Stand firm and avoid participating in reckless behaviors. Set clear boundaries. If their need for stimulation involves risky or harmful behavior, set strong boundaries to ensure your own safety and well-being. Psychopaths' constant search for stimulation makes them unpredictable and, at times, dangerous. Their inability to sit still or appreciate a calm life often results in reckless decisions that can have serious consequences. Understanding this trait can help you navigate relationships with individuals who exhibit this behavior and protect yourself from potential harm. Poor behavioral controls. Have you ever witnessed someone flying off the handle over something minor or reacting with extreme anger over small inconveniences? This is a clear sign of poor behavioral control, a characteristic common among psychopaths. Their emotional outbursts can be unpredictable, sudden, and disproportionate to the situation at hand. Psychopaths have a distinct inability to control their impulses or manage their behavior in stressful situations. They often react impulsively, letting their emotions dictate their actions rather than thinking through the consequences. This lack of self-control can lead to reckless, destructive behavior that harms those around them. Why they lack behavioral control. Impulsivity. Psychopaths often act without considering the long-term consequences or effects on others. Low tolerance for frustration. Even minor setbacks can trigger intense outbursts or irrational behavior. Emotional dysregulation. They struggle to regulate emotions like anger, frustration, or excitement, causing them to react inappropriately or erratically. Examples of poor behavioral control. Explosive outbursts. They may lash out at someone for something trivial, like an innocent comment or a minor mistake. Risk-taking behaviors. Psychopaths may engage in reckless driving, substance abuse, or dangerous activities with little regard for their safety or the safety of others. Verbal abuse. They might engage in sudden fits of rage, insulting or berating others without any warning or provocation. How to recognize poor behavioral control. Unpredictable reactions. Their behavior changes rapidly, often without any apparent reason or warning. Disproportionate responses. They seem to react intensely to situations that would typically cause only mild irritation in others. Frequent conflicts. They often find themselves in situations where they're arguing or fighting, as their lack of control leads to constant confrontations. Steps to deal with poor behavioral control. Stay calm. When interacting with someone with poor behavioral control, try to maintain your composure. Reacting with anger only escalates the situation. Set boundaries. If their outbursts become abusive or dangerous, it's crucial to establish clear boundaries or remove yourself from the situation. Don't take it personally. Remember that their emotional reactions are about their lack of control, not a reflection of your actions. Poor behavioral control is not only dangerous for others, but also keeps psychopaths stuck in cycles of chaos and conflict. Learning to recognize and disengage from these outbursts can help you maintain your own well-being and avoid falling victim to their volatility. Parasitic lifestyle. Have you ever encountered someone who seems to live off the resources and efforts of others with no intention of contributing themselves? This is known as a parasitic lifestyle, and it's one of the most troubling traits of a psychopath. Psychopaths are often experts at exploiting others, draining them of their energy, time, and resources, all without offering anything in return. Psychopaths thrive by leeching off the goodwill, hard work, and resources of others, rather than standing on their own 2 feet. They tend to take advantage of people, using charm, manipulation, and deceit to get what they want. Their goal is to live comfortably at the expense of others, avoiding any real effort or responsibility. Why psychopaths adopt a parasitic lifestyle. Lack of empathy. Their inability to care for others allows them to exploit people without feeling guilty or remorseful. Manipulation skills. Psychopaths are skilled manipulators, and they know how to charm or guilt trip others into taking care of their needs. Avoiding responsibility. By living off others, they avoid having to take on the responsibilities of earning or providing for themselves. Examples of a parasitic lifestyle: financial exploitation. A psychopath may rely on others for money, using charm or deceit to get financial support without ever repaying or contributing. Emotional drain. They may emotionally drain others, using them as a source of validation, comfort, or attention without offering the same support in return. Living off relationships. Some psychopaths will move from one person to another, leeching off their resources, whether it's living in someone's home, using their car, or relying on them for financial support. How to recognize a parasitic lifestyle. Consistent dependency. Psychopaths will often be financially or emotionally dependent on others, never taking steps to support themselves. Constant borrowing. They may frequently ask for money, help, or favors, yet rarely give anything back or show gratitude. Exploitation of vulnerabilities. They tend to prey on those who are emotionally vulnerable, using manipulation tactics to ensure that their needs are met while leaving others drained. How to deal with a psychopath's parasitic lifestyle. Set boundaries. Be clear about what you're willing to give and make sure not to enable their exploitative behavior. Don't let guilt manipulate you. Psychopaths are skilled at making you feel guilty for not helping them, but stay firm in your boundaries and recognize their manipulation. Recognize the red flags. Be aware of someone who consistently relies on you without offering anything in return. If you see these signs, take steps to distance yourself from their influence. A parasitic lifestyle is one of the most draining aspects of dealing with a psychopath. They will feed off your resources without ever giving back, leaving you emotionally and physically exhausted. Recognizing this trait early can help you avoid being taken advantage of and protect your well-being. Criminal versatility. Have you ever met someone who seems to get away with breaking the rules, effortlessly adapting to different illegal or unethical activities without batting an eye? This is called criminal versatility, and it's a hallmark trait of psychopaths. Psychopaths don't limit themselves to a single type of crime or wrongdoing. They are highly adaptable when it comes to breaking laws and exploiting systems. Psychopaths are often involved in multiple criminal activities throughout their lives, shifting from one to another with ease. Their lack of conscience, impulsivity, and cunning make them skilled at navigating various types of illegal or immoral behavior. Whether it's fraud, theft, manipulation, or even violence, their ability to engage in different types of crime is what makes them especially dangerous and difficult to catch. Why psychopaths are criminally versatile. Lack of guilt. They feel no remorse for their actions, allowing them to commit a wide range of crimes without hesitation. Adaptability. Psychopaths can quickly learn the ropes of any illegal activity, adjusting to different situations or environments to achieve their goals. Cunning and charisma. They use their manipulative skills and charm to deceive others, making it easier for them to carry out various crimes undetected. Examples of criminal versatility: fraud and deception. A psychopath might engage in fraudulent activities such as identity theft, scams, or embezzlement, and then smoothly transition to another crime, like drug dealing or robbery. Violence. They can be involved in violent activities, ranging from domestic abuse to assault or even murder, without being restricted to a particular pattern of violence. Manipulation of systems. Psychopaths are often adept at manipulating legal, financial, or social systems for personal gain, whether through exploitation of loopholes, exploiting vulnerable people, or bypassing laws. How to recognize criminal versatility. Shifting from one crime to another. If someone seems to have been involved in multiple types of crime, whether large or small, it may indicate criminal versatility. Adapting to different environments. Psychopaths are able to blend into different social circles and adapt to various situations, making it hard to catch them in the act. Constantly breaking the law. Whether it's speeding, engaging in scams, or committing violent acts, they continuously break the law in various ways. How to protect yourself from criminal behavior. Stay aware of red flags. Be cautious if someone you know has a history of criminal behavior or constantly shifts between various illegal activities. Report suspicious activity. If you suspect someone is engaging in multiple types of criminal behavior, reporting it to the authorities may help prevent further harm. Limit your interactions. It's best to distance yourself from individuals who exhibit criminal versatility, as they are often unpredictable and willing to exploit others. Criminal versatility makes psychopaths incredibly dangerous. Their ability to smoothly shift from one criminal activity to another, coupled with their lack of guilt and emotional detachment, allows them to operate without fear of being caught. Recognizing this trait early on can help protect yourself and others from their destructive actions. Final thoughts. Now that we've explored the 13 traits of a psychopath, it's clear that these individuals exhibit a range of disturbing behaviors that can impact those around them. From their superficial charm to their impulsive need for stimulation, their lack of empathy, and their parasitic lifestyle, psychopaths can be challenging to spot. But understanding these traits equips you with the knowledge to protect yourself and others from the harm they can cause. Psychopathy is not just a theoretical concept, it's a real and present danger that affects people in various ways. Recognizing these signs early and setting boundaries can help you navigate interactions with individuals who exhibit these traits. Whether in personal relationships, work settings, or social circles, being informed is your first line of defense. Remember, it's not always easy to identify a psychopath right away, as many of their behaviors can be hidden behind a mask of charm and charisma. However, knowing the warning signs is essential for your well-being and safety. Always trust your instincts, and if something feels off, take the necessary precautions to protect yourself. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the mind of a psychopath. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share it so others can benefit from this valuable information. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated on future videos. Together we can stay informed, safe, and empowered.